video today. If you're at home and you have children of all ages, so if they're little babies all the way up to adults, this will be fun. It's really imaginative, so if you don't have any of these props at home, or you don't have pictures or things like that, that's fine. This is all in our imagination that we go along in our little yoga scenario today. My son is Joey. He's 2 years old, so he may or may not, be joining us for the entire thing. I have a mat laid out for him. You can do the same thing at home. If you have a yoga mat, they kind of like to play on it, and this one's by Supported Soul, and it has little pictures of an ocean on it, so he kind of likes to play on that. But you totally do not need this if you have like a little rug, or like even a bed sheet or a crib sheet just folded and put on the floor. It sort of denotes the space. So, Joey, come here. It sort of denotes the space so that they kind of know things are happening in this space. Joey, come here. Come here, come help mommy. So, yeah, that's a whale. So we're going to be going on this yoga journey together. And so your house may be a little bit like mine, where there's just constant chaos and things like that going on. So it's totally normal to have, dogs and kids and all kinds of stuff happening around us at all times. And that's why yoga is important. And so today what I wanted to bring you is a really full family experience. You can even do this with someone in your family that's maybe older or is not used to yoga. We'll be doing modifications that work for sitting down as well. So if there's someone who can't necessarily get to the floor and back up, we will be offering solutions for that family member as well. So come on in, join us. The only material that you need is your space and yourselves. So I just cleaned up like all the dog toys and things and pushed everything over to the side so that we have space that we're not going to trip necessarily on anything. So go ahead and get yourself ready, get your family, gather everybody into their room, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we want to do is come to a comfortable position. And hopefully our dogs are not trying to play with us at the same time. So, Kira, go lay down. So, I'm in a cross-legged position. That's comfortable for me. You might be up on a chair, and that's totally fine too. Joey, can you come sit with me? Can you come sit with me? Yeah, can you sit down on it? You want to come sit? Come sit with Mommy. So if you have a little one, they can kind of sit with you, and if they're not interested at all, then that's fine too. And we're going to come to a comfortable seat and just take a couple breaths in. A couple deep breaths. Just to begin our practice, we want to be fully present. And we'll go ahead and set some ground rules. So first rule is that parents are in control of this entire process. So if you're a parent at home, you are the one that sets the rules. You're the one that sets the guidelines for everything. You will also decide whether or not something is safe for yourself and for your child. So if something along this process seems like it's out of the realm, you can feel free to modify it. I'll offer some modifications, and then also you can just skip this part of the video if there's something that you don't like or is out of your practice. So with that said, I'll show you 2 poses. So we're going to be going on a yoga hike. So the difference between a regular hike and a yoga hike is that with a yoga hike, we pretend to be the things that we would see on our normal hike. So the first thing that we see when we go outside into the woods is a tree. So I'm going to show you tree pose, and it's just like this. So you might be standing up just like this with a little kickstand in your leg, one side, and here's the other. If you're sitting down and you're in a chair, maybe you take one leg over to the other and just externally rotate one leg or the other like this, and you can have your hands in your lap, or if you're seated and you can't do this with your legs, you can reach your arms up like this. Just freeze like that. So that's what our trees do. And our trees are rooted down through their feet, so they stop moving. So at any time the parents say everything is getting a little too loud or a little too rowdy, we freeze like a tree, right? Because trees are silent and they don't move. So this is what we do. Or if we're standing up, just like this, okay? So when the parents say freeze like a tree, this is what we do. So everybody practice. Freeze like a tree. Okay, and go. And freeze like a tree. Okay, all right, good job with that. Now here's the other thing that we see. We see rocks when we're outside, right? So when we're outside and we see a rock, they're also silent and they also don't move. So if you're running around and your parent says, freeze like a rock, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put down your knees and your feet and your shins, and you're gonna put your head down just like this, just like a rock. Not moving, not saying anything, just quiet, okay? This is rock. All right, so let's pretend we're running around and now the parent says, freeze like a rock. You're gonna freeze like this, okay? And if you're in a chair and not running around but being loud, and a parent says, freeze like a rock, we're gonna go like this. Okay, so I put my hands down to my knees, I put my head down as far as I can, and I freeze like a rock. Okay? So, Joey, come here. Joey. Freeze like a rock. See? And we freeze just like that. So, those are the two things that we would freeze like if we're out on our hike and things get a little loud or a little boisterous and we need to calm it down. So when we're in those poses, we take some deep breaths out through our mouth. Joey, come over here. All right, so let's get started on our hike. So when we're hiking through the woods, we go like this. We lift our knees up nice and high so we don't trip over any roots or branches. We lift our arms up, we swing our arms. Come on over here, Joey. And if we're sitting in a chair, we might go like this. So we're still using our arms. We're still warming up our shoulders. We're rolling our shoulders back and down. If we're up, we're going like this, rolling our shoulders back, using our legs nice and strong. All right, Joey, come here.
Uh-oh.
Come here, we're going on the yoga hike. Let's practice really quick. Freeze like a tree. All right, nice job. So we're gonna walk through the woods, and an animal that we might see along the way, what do you think? A bird. So as we come to, look out for the bird. All right, we see a bird. Now, what do the birds usually do? They fly, right? So the birds that fly, they tuck their knees, okay? So I'll turn to the side so you can see. They tuck their knees, they tuck their feet. Joey, come here. Don't touch. Joey, don't touch. Come here. All right. So the birds that fly in the air, they tuck their feet underneath them, like this, and then they flap their wings out to the side, right? So from the front, it looks like this. Okay? And if we're in a chair, it looks like this. Yeah, so we're using our abdominals to sit up nice and straight. Use that nice long spine. Extend your arms as far as possible. Yeah, we're flying like birds. So if you're up and you're going like this, really extending the arms out and down. Nice job flying, everyone. All right, so our bird has landed on a branch. Okay, so they tuck their hands or their wings by their sides. So like this from the side. And then sometimes they like to rest their feet, so they lift one foot up and down, and the other foot. Can you practice that? Lifting up and down. Lift it up and down. If you're in a chair and you can lift your hands, you can lift your leg maybe one and the other. And if you have your hands by your sides, you're really using the crown of your head to lift up and forward. Press through your hands, send your hands behind your back almost. So we're doing this, everybody. All right. Now let's stand up nice and tall, shake it all out. So we're done looking at that bird that landed. We're gonna roll our shoulders back and down, just release a little bit, and we'll get back to our hike. So we're gonna lift our legs up and our arms. And if we're in that chair, we're using our arms, maybe lifting one leg and the other, and taking some deep breaths. All right, so what's another animal that lives in the woods that we see a lot? A deer. That's a good one. So if you're able to get down on the floor, go ahead and do that. I'm going to take one leg out to the front and one leg out to the side, okay? So our hips face this front leg, and then this leg is out to the side, all right? And we're going to lift our arms up high. These are the antlers of the deer, and we can lift and reach from side to side, okay? So if we're in a chair and we're not able to get down to the ground, Joey, come here. Joey, come here. Can you show me the deer? We can lift our arms up same way and just turn from side to side. Use your abdominal strength to just send one arm forward, one arm back. Trying to keep the legs steady here if you're in the chair. And same thing on the ground. So we want to keep the legs steady. And now we're going to lift over to the side and back. Come here. Joey, come here. So we're waving our antlers around from side to side. Now we're going to take them down to the front. So same thing if you're in the chair. We're taking our arms around just in a circle, over that side leg and up through the front. Same thing, like our antlers are reaching around, like our arms. And then lift up. Now we'll switch sides. So whichever leg is in front is now the one that's out to the side. So we're going to stay right here, lift our arms up just from side to side. It's a nice stretch. Starting to warm up the upper body. Now we're going to take the circles in the other direction. So same thing. And if you're in that seated chair, you can just do the same thing with the upper body. Use that strength. And don't worry about necessarily reaching down to any certain point or anything like that. You can just reach through your arms. That's nice. All right, let's lift it up. Let's let those shoulders go. Let's come up through center and stand back up. Let's get back to our hike. So we saw that deer. And what are some things that deer eat? Do they eat grass and plants and things like that? Yes, they do. They eat lots of different plants, lots of grasses, trees. So they have those antlers in the summertime, and then they lose them over the winter, and they eat a lot of plants. So that's some fun facts about deer. So if you're in seated, we're just lifting our arms from side to side. Whew. It's really warm today, so I'm a little out of breath. So let's go ahead and see what other animals we can see. So another one that recently paid me a visit was a bear. So that's kind of scary if we see it in the woods. We don't necessarily want to startle the bear or have the bear chase us, so we pretend to be, what? A rock! So let's pretend to be that rock really quick. Let's come down. All right, let's come on back up. Let's get ready. We're going to pretend to be the bear. So with the bears, they keep their back nice and long, and they bend their knees to bend down. So what do they eat? They eat fish, berries, they eat, they're omnivores, so they really will eat anything. Mine like to eat my bird seed that was outside. So if you'd like, you can pretend that you're a bear reaching for a bird feeder up high, and then bringing it low and eating it up. So we're bending our knees, keeping our spine straight, reaching up, and then bending down low, eating it up. So reaching up high, bending down low, eating it up. Now if you're in the chair, if you're in a seated position, you can still reach up and then bend low. Keep your back flat, eat it on up. Lift up high, bend down low, eat it up. Bird seed is yummy for bears. Down low, eat it up. So taking a few of those, just like that. Make sure you bend your knees as you bend low. Bend your knees. All right, lift up. Bend your knees. Good job. So that's the bear. Another thing that the bears do is a bear walk. So if you would like, you can try it at home. So we're going to get down on all fours. Just like this. And bend your knees a lot here, okay? Send your hips up high. And maybe you kiddos at home want to try walking like a bear. So we take one side and the other. And we walk like a bear around the room. And that's kind of fun. And if you're in the chair and you'd like to try, you can do the same thing with side to side. Your hands and your foot can lift at the same time, or maybe just your hands. And do that bear walk. Roar. Pretend you're a bear. And then stand up and go, roar. That's kind of fun to pretend to be a bear. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to our hike. So freeze like a tree. Freeze like a tree, other side. All right, let's get back to our hike. So we're hiking in the woods, and we're taking it from side to side. And we come across a little stream. And we have a little stream that's by, what's the matter? There's a little stream that's by the woods and a little pond at the end. So there's a little pond, and let's walk on over. Thank you. Let's walk on over to the pond and look at what's inside. So right now, it's springtime, and there's a lot of tadpoles that are swimming around. So what are the tadpoles going to turn into eventually? They turn into frogs. So frogs are really neat. Do you guys know the sound that frogs make? They go ribbit. All right, so let's pretend to be frogs. We take a big step out to the side, and we bend our knees really deep. So if you're just here, that's fine. That's a great frog. So now you can jump up. Jump, right? And bring your elbows back down, help support your upper body. We want to have a long back, a long spine here as we send our butt way out to the back. Weight over the heels, lift, jump. Now if you're in the seated position, you can take your legs out wide. Same thing, elbows to knees, lift up, jump. Lift up. So we're just pretending to jump, ribbit, right? We're a nice big frog, lifting up. And if you're a frog and you're down here on the ground, or if you're seated, let's bring those elbows to knees. Let's have a little froggy seat and wait for flies. That's what frogs eat. They eat bugs. So the frogs live in the water, and they'll come up to the top. They're amphibians, and they like to wait on a log. Come here. You want to be a frog? They like to wait on a log or a tree branch and wait for flies. Yes, that's a nice hug. Thank you. What's the matter? You want up? Okay. So this is what I told you about. Sometimes our little babies, we can hold them the whole time. Yeah. Give them kisses. All right, so I'm pretending to be a frog, and I'm waiting for flies to come by. So I send my hips way down. You can have a seat. If you have a block or a book, you can have a seat on it just like this. Or if you're in a chair, it's even easier. So you take your legs out to the side, and you rest your elbows down towards your knees, and you lean forward, and you feel that little bit of a stretch through your thighs, through the inner sides of your legs. And we're gonna wait right here for flies to come by. So when they come by, what do? We stick our tongue out, ribbit, and they eat the fly. Okay, so eat the fly, eat the fly, eat the fly. Yeah, got my lipstick on your head. All right. So see if you can eat a fly. See if you can eat a bug just pretend bugs as a frog, right? So let's see if we can eat some pretend flies. Yummy. All right. And when you're ready to be done with that, We can all come down to a seat, or in your chair, you can take your legs back to your side. So we're done with our hike. We saw the animals that we needed to see today, and we're gonna have a nice comfortable seat. And you know what frogs do at night? Have you ever heard them in the tree or on the logs? They sing. So it's a really nice song that you hear. Sometimes it sounds like chirping, and it's a really nice way to end our practice. So we can all sing together, and a little froggy song about peace. And so the words to the song are Om Shanti. So Om is the sound that we make that helps us all feel connected. It's a nice warm sounding, meditative sound that we can make that's a universally understood sound of connection. And then Shanti means peace, and it's the most highest form of peace that there is in the entire universe. So when we sing this song, we send out that peace to everyone and everything, everywhere. Okay? So the words go like this. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And we repeat that 3 times. So if you don't want to sing along, you don't have to. But it's a nice way to end our practice and feel like we're connected, like we come together, and peace. So if you'd like to just listen, you can. If you'd like to join me, you can feel free. This is a nice chant to do at the end of the day or anytime really. So the first step is to take a nice deep breath in, feel it through your belly, and then start to sing. All right, here we go. Maybe even close your eyes, bring your hands to your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. One last time. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That was a perfect way to end. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this class. Feel free to pause, rewind, share. This is a really fun practice that I do with my kiddo, and I hope that you enjoy it with your family as well. He's fine, he just bumped his head. Thank you so much for joining us.